everyone, let's talk about the new smart city, netzero city, the smart city that has so far been treated from a technological perspective. We must put people back at the heart of the debate, put carbon neutrality back as a priority for urban spaces. Everyone agrees that we have to collaborate and break down the barriers between the various players in the city. It is now key to imagine a city where it is pleasant to live. Let's check the following solutions here. I'm here today with 3 different startups that are acting up to change the game. First of all, let's speak with Sandra Five, who is co-founder and CEO of Urbanomy. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Margot.
Let's talk more about your ambitions.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Hello, Sandra.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us. We are also joined remotely by Frédéric Pacotte, co-founder and CEO of Mybus, and William Rosenfeld, CEO and co-founder of Zenpark. Thank you all for being with us. Sandra, I'll start with you. Could you tell us more about Urbanomy?
Yes, sure. So Urbanomy is a spin-off of EDF Group. It was co-founded by 3 former EDF employees and incubated with EDF Investment Fund and Incubator. Urbanomy is a consultancy for real estate players, which have great ambitions in terms of carbon neutrality for their urban development projects and also the management of portfolio of assets. We help them in providing strategic consultancy offering, technical and economic studies, visualization tools, so that they can choose the best scenarios to achieve their project's goals.
So cities around the world are expanding more and more. Creating more resilient and sustainable cities is becoming a pretty tough task. How do you concretely respond to that, and what makes you special as a startup?
I think it's important to understand firstly why there is this transition from big IoT sensors driven projects to more resilience driven projects with ambitions on carbon neutrality. And this comes from the demand from the end users. They want to have projects that have an impact on the livability in cities and how we can enjoy the living spaces where we work, etc., etc. So how do we provide advices concretely, and why are we so different? We're different because we embark the experience of EDF R&D on international projects, which has led to the development of models and tools on energy systems, energy efficiency, and environmental matters. We have the capacity at Urbanomy to use those tools, use them for the benefit of our customers, and those tools embark the know-how and operational experience of EDF subsidiaries, which makes a great impact and difference early on in projects compared to what the competition can do. So our bet is that bringing upwards in the value chain that expertise will have a major impact in projects.
You support both the private and public actors to help them design sustainable and resilient urban spaces. Where are your clients and who are they?
So our customers are of different types. We help developers, we help landowners, investors, and we also advise local authorities. Our first markets are in the UK and Germany, so we have a team that's based in London, Berlin, Paris, and very soon in Abu Dhabi. So we're also opening that market in the Middle East. And they're basically people who want, again, to have projects which will have an impact, who want to manage energy and carbon strategies for their portfolio of assets. So there are people who are committed on the sustainability roadmap.
Thank you, Sandra. I'd like to turn now to William Rosenfeld, the CEO and co-founder of Zenpark. Hello, William.
Hi, everyone.
As any driver knows, parking in the city can be a daunting and a very expensive task. This is where Zenpark comes handy to make it easy for drivers to find a safe and affordable parking spot, and even to book it in advance. What's the concept behind it?
Let's say Zenpark first is the pioneer and leader in parking as a service. That means we transform any kind of car park in a package of services that are connected, databased, and shared, like, for example, our park sharing service, the one you are referring to. Let's say our park sharing service is easy to understand for all drivers. In large cities, 1 car out of 4 is circling for finding a parking spot. This situation leads to 20% of CO2 emissions issued by drivers in urban traffic. Maybe you know at the same time there are 6 million parking spaces available in private car parks. Then Zenpark partners with large owners of car parks like social landlords, hotels, supermarkets, office buildings, student accommodations, and so on, in order to unlock their private car parks to Zenpark customers. How we do that, we developed a patented technology that is installed in each car park to take the control of the car park access, a gate or a door, whatever, remotely. As a driver, you just have to download the Zenpark app, locate the car park you want to go, you book a space, either immediately or in advance, you pay through the app, and while you arrive in front of the car park, you open the door directly through the app and park like in a traditional car park. Then main differences with a traditional car park are, first, this is a full digital parking experience. And second, the price, of course. Zenpark car sharing is roughly up to 50% cheaper than traditional car park. And on the partner side, we share the revenues with owners of the car park. They don't have to invest anything as Zenpark as an all-inclusive approach.
I believe you have other solutions as well. What are they?
Yeah, you're perfectly right, Margot. Our mission is to increase the value of parking real estate by implementing such services like park sharing. Then Zenpark developed a one-stop shop that addresses all the challenge of optimizing car parks. The first one is monetization of car parks for landlords, called Share. This is the park sharing service I just described. Second is the optimization of parking spaces for office buildings, called Flex. Flex is the solution to address workplace management challenge. How do I give access to my 800 employees when they come by car at the office, while I have only 200 parking spaces? And how do I give priority to my car park to employees who are sustainable mobility users, like EV drivers or employees who often use public transport, for example? This challenge raised at the top of the list of workplace managers with the rise of teleworking. And the last but not the least, mixing car park usage to build less parking space for real estate developers and municipalities. We call this solution SMART. SMART is probably the most advanced solution to build the smart city on what is regarding parking. There's no need anymore to build one car park attached to one building, but only one smart parking for the entire district. Why? Just because our big data-based technology is able to optimize the mix of parking usage between all different users, like residents who mostly park during nights and weekends, employees who mostly park during weekdays, and all of the types of users like visitors or customers supermarket, for example. Zenpark achieved up to a 30% mixing usage rate. What does that mean? For example, in our smart say parking, Zenpark operates 830 parking spaces, while only 640 spaces are built. This is nearly 200 parking spaces more. In other words, we could say that SMART is the real-life demonstration of how to provide more parking services with less assets thanks to digital. This is perfectly in line with the philosophy of all urban planners who are involved in smart city today.
And the small revolution as well.
Excuse me?
The small revolution as well that is coming up.
Yeah, we could say a small revelation. You're right. When the way we address the carbon-free mobility services. Do you know that a private EV charging point in a car park is used only 2% during its entire life? Really, can we expect one EV charging point per parking space in the future? I would say it's a bit like we built one elevator for each flat. While it sounds really stupid, this is exactly what is done right now in buildings, implementing one EV charging point per vehicle even if this piece of metal, the charging point, will be idle 98%. Then our solution, the small revolution you mentioned, called plug and share, is able to share any kind of EV charging point between residents, employees, and visitors in the same car park, while ensuring the perfect level of charging for each vehicle. And you can even book charging slot, book a parking space all together through our unique app.
Thank you, William, for your intervention. I'd like to turn now to Frédéric Pacotte, the co-founder and CEO of Mybus. Hello, Frédéric. Thank you for joining us remotely.
Hello, hello.
Could you tell us more about your project?
My project is the Monkey Factory. Monkey Factory is a publisher of digital solutions dedicated to everyday mobility, commonly known as multimodal digital services.
So Mybus allows public transport users to buy and validate their dematerialized transport tickets from their smartphone. What's your main goal here?
Our mission is to accelerate the use of sustainable and inclusive mobility via digital. Mybus works to provide a simple answer to a basic question when you are on the move. How do I get from point A to point B while having all the modes of transport modes around me at my disposal, while limiting my carbon footprint? This daily concern is in fact the starting point of a nascent revolution in our habits, and this revolution is called MaaS. MaaS is for mobility as a service. Mobility will no longer be a product that we buy, but a service to which you subscribe.
And to make it work, you use a specific technology called a MaaS, mobility as a service. How does it work in simple words?
Okay, to answer to your question, let's talk about our history. With 5 years of experience in this field, our mobile app Mybus now puts its technology to the service of communities, what we call in France MOI, for Mobility Organizing Authority, and this technology is called Massify. It helps those communities to optimize their strategy to promote soft, shared, and collective mobilities, and to accelerate the modal shift to limit car travels, and finally, to meet their legal or regulatory obligations in their territory.
So achieving carbon neutrality in land transport from 2050, this is the ambition displayed by the mobility orientation law called LOM. What does this law change for you?
The mobility orientation law, what we call the LOM, passed in December 2019, prepares this revolution, this MaaS revolution, firstly by freeing up data related to mobility and by initiating the deregulation of the digital distribution of transport tickets, transport cards. Indeed, from July 1st, 2021, all cities, all regions that organize mobility on their territory will have to allow private players of multimodal digital services to sell dematerialized transport tickets and then acting like contracted distributors.
And so what are the next steps for your company now?
Our startup is already offers solution to the general public. Monkey Factory, who publish the app Mybus, which already covers 3,075 networks in France with passenger information. For example, our competitors from GAFA Galaxy, such as Google Maps or Move It, are within 100 networks. And for those 375 networks, we have the capacity to propose dematerialized tickets for most of them. And we are the only French company to provide such a service.
Thank you, Frédéric, for your intervention. I'd like to turn again to Sandra. Sandra, what are your ongoing projects?
Yes, I think it's fascinating everything that we've heard that is going to change massively smart cities. And there is actually one project that kind of wraps up all the themes that we've discussed and that we're undertaking in the UK right now. The customer is the Oxfordshire County Council. They're doing a new garden village, which is quite a big development with 2,200 homes, a park and ride parking included in the new garden village, as well as a business centre, some educational centres as well. So quite a big new ecosystem and village that's being created. And we advise the County Council also with the involvement of local stakeholders on the energy concept, mobility concept. We see that all the problematics we've discussed about mobility as a service, about EV charging being shared and allowing for carbon-free mobility will be absolutely key in those new developments.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you all, William and Frédéric, for being with us remotely. What an exciting time for innovation. Thank you all for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.